Should you chase after your ex who has an avoidant attachment style? I'm assuming that you're probably a guy and you probably have an anxious attachment style. Your ex-girlfriend or ex-wife probably has an avoidant attachment style, and you're not sure what you need to do to get them back, and you're not sure if you should chase after them or not. Hi, I'm Jeff Campbell from DivorcedParentsClub.com, and I'm glad you're here with me. First, if you're not 100% certain about attachment styles, let me break those down for you very quickly. There are generally 3 different attachment styles. There is secure, which is ideally where we all want to be, where you don't need someone else to feel whole and complete. You're just you and you're happy living life, and then you meet somebody and you get into a relationship with them, and ideally they're secure also, and then it's just 2 happy and complete people coming together to enrich each other's lives. Unfortunately, a lot of us have other attachment styles. I tend to lean towards the anxious attachment style, which under certain circumstances can make me a little needy and clingy. And then the other side of that is called the avoidant attachment style, where you're afraid of getting hurt because of childhood trauma, and you keep people at arm's length in order to avoid getting hurt, but you desperately want love. So for today's video, I'm going to assume again that your wife or girlfriend has that avoidant attachment style, and you're probably an anxious attachment style person, just like me. So what do you do to get her back, and do you chase after her? First, I want to talk about a guy named Chris Seiter. He's another YouTuber. He's also got a website that's excellent as well. He's also an expert on attachment styles. I think I'm a little bit of an expert as well, having read the book called Attached, which thoroughly breaks down these concepts. But Chris is a great guy also, and I want to walk you through this wheel that he has on his website that clearly breaks down the life cycle, if you want to call it that, of someone who has the avoidant attachment style personality. I'm also going to link to Chris's work down in the description below. But let's take a look at his attachment style life cycle right now. So the first step is they want someone to love them. They want to find love. And then they find somebody and they think their troubles are over. But then they start to notice some worrying things about this other person. You know, maybe red flags, maybe big ones, maybe little ones. They tend to create drama and friction in order to justify that uneasiness that they always are going to feel in any relationship with anyone. Then they start to think about leaving. Well, maybe this person's just not right for me. Then they do decide to leave the relationship, and often it comes as a total surprise. That's what happened to me with my now ex-wife, who is indeed an avoidant attachment style person. Her request for a divorce came completely out of the blue and was a total shock to me, total shock to our kids as well. But the next stage is that they're so happy that they left. They feel this newfound sense of freedom and they're loving life, feel like there's no restrictions on them, no one's controlling them, because those are different ways that avoidants tend to react. Any sort of checking in or talking about setting healthy boundaries, anything like that tends to make an avoidant attachment style person feel like they're being controlled, which is the number one thing they don't want and the number one thing to guarantee that they're going to run in the opposite direction. The next stage is they start to feel kind of lonely. And this may be where they seek out a rebound relationship, or, you know, think about rekindling something with an old flame, not you, because typically it's going to take them a while before they circle back to you, if indeed that ever happens. The last stage is they go through that frustration, that heartbreak of, why can't I ever find the right person? Again, they desperately want love. They just don't know how to get it because they're so afraid of being hurt that they never let anyone in too close. And so really, you know, the ideal scenario for an avoidant attachment style person, assuming they can't get therapy and kind of work through their childhood issues, is to actually get with someone else who has an avoidant style personality. That way neither one of them ever gets too clingy, but they don't ever stray too far either. Now, I mentioned that I am an anxious attachment style person and my ex-wife is an avoidant attachment style person. The irony is that those two personality styles do often come together. They're often drawn to one another, and it creates this cycle where the avoidant begins to pull away and the anxious attachment style person tries to hold on and cling tightly and you know, get them to come back. And then the more they cling, the more the avoidant runs away. And it's kind of this self-fulfilling prophecy where it's just destined to not work. I didn't know all this at the time when my ex asked for the divorce. I've kind of learned this the hard way in the aftermath of that divorce. Real quick before we keep going, if you like this video and you want to see more like it, hit that like button, then smash that subscribe button and the bell notification button too. And if you have an idea for something you'd like to see in a future video, or if you ever disagree with me, leave me that in the comments down below. So in a minute, I'm going to answer the question of what you need to do to get your avoidant ex back. But for right now, let's talk about what happens if you chase an avoidant. With everything that we've covered so far in this video, I bet you already know the answer to this question, but you should never chase after an avoidant ex. That's going to make them feel smothered, and it's going to make them run in the opposite direction. They don't like feeling controlled. They don't like feeling restricted. They don't like feeling smothered and like their partner is needy and clingy. They don't like that, and they're going to avoid that at all costs. So you chasing after them is going to trigger all of those fears and insecurities and just make them push you away and run in the opposite direction, probably never to return. So you definitely do not want to chase an avoidant ex. What do you want to do instead? Well, let's cover that now. So the first step is for you to be patient. With an avoidant ex, especially if you tend to be on the anxious side, this is not a quick fix. You're not going to get them back a month or two after they left. They have to go through that life cycle that we talked about a minute ago, and that could take months, potentially even 1 to 2 years. And you may not even want to wait that long. And in fact, as we're going to get into in a second, I don't think you should sit around and wait on them. I think that's a terrible idea. But you can get them to come back to you. You can get them to chase you, but you have to do the right things, and patience is the key. Next is go no contact. We hear that phrase a lot, but what does it actually mean? Really what it means is you don't initiate any contact with them whatsoever for at least, I'd say, a month or two. And in this case, if she's an avoidant, probably indefinitely. Do respond to any communication that she initiates with you, but don't initiate anything on your own. Also avoid stalking her on social media. Don't like or comment on any post, anything like that. Don't ask mutual friends about her. Basically, pretend she doesn't exist. Over time, especially if you used to be kind of needy and clingy and now you seem completely indifferent and like she doesn't exist to you, that's going to make her wonder, like, well, has he moved on? Does he have somebody new? Why is he being like that? Because it's a different kind of behavior than she's used to seeing. Anytime she wonders about you, that's a good thing. It will make her curiosity grow, and along with that, it will make her attraction grow. And then along those lines, maintain some mystery. Don't be putting out there a bunch of stuff on social media. Maybe just a little bit, maybe mention that you went to some event, or, maybe the occasional picture of you out on a date with somebody, but don't inundate social media, especially if you think she's looking at your social media. Don't inundate social media with everything that you're doing. Maintain a little bit of mystery and intrigue that will keep her guessing and wondering about you. You want her to wonder about you. Then I want you to get on with your life. Like I said, I don't want you to sit around and wait for her. After all, it may take her 1 to 2 years to come back. At the very least, it's going to take months, and she may not come back at all. So you don't want to sit around and waste your life waiting for her. Get on with your life. Get out there, start to date people, focus on being the best version of you that you can be. What do I mean by that? A lot of us, when we're in long-term relationships, we let our health go. We stop going to the gym, we stop working out, we stop maintaining our friendships that we used to have before we were in a serious relationship. We let a lot of that stuff go, but a lot of those things defined who we were that initially made us attractive to our ex. Those were the things that made us attractive to them. The irony is we lose a lot of that as we go along in a long-term relationship. So I want you to get back to doing those things. Get back to doing the things that bring you joy. Hang out with your buddies. Hit the gym 3 or 4 times a week. Go back to your hobbies, the things that you used to like to do that brought you joy. Get back to being you and boosting your own feelings of self-worth, your happiness. Be comfortable with who you are right now in your life. You're not looking for somebody else to make you feel whole and complete. Essentially, live your best life. And if anything is going to attract her back to you, it's going to be wondering about you, seeing that you've moved on, seeing how happy you are living life without her, and then giving her enough time and space and not being clingy so that she can actually miss you. That is the key. Absolutely, you do not want to chase her. Anyway, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, again, leave me a comment down in the description below. But for now, I'll see you in the next video.